Now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and next to me is my trusty companion,
John Kearns. What's up, everybody?
Today is episode 2 of Why You Should Be Watching, and this month we are highlighting Japanese pro wrestling extraordinaire Dragongate.
Yes.
For this episode, we have none other than Luke, who runs Open the Fan Gate, which is all about Dragongate wrestling. Luke is all the way from Ireland. Luke, thank you for being here with us.
No problem, lads.
So, I know that you are also a big Japanese wrestling fan, but you also have this site specifically for Dragongate. What to you sets Dragongate apart from the other Puro promotions?
Well, its primary focus is on what we call the Dragon System, or the Dragon System style of wrestling that Ultimo Dragon Gym students learned in Mexico in Toryumon. The Dragon System is a kind of a mixture of the fusion of styles that Dragon learned when he was wrestling. You know, he debuted in Japan, learning strong style. And then he went to Mexico in CMLL, I think, and he became Ultimo Dragon there. So he learned Lucha Libre and that high-flying kind of style. And then he later went to WCW, and, you know, you have that kind of... I wouldn't know too much about WCW, but the wrestling, the kind of entertainment aspect of it. So he kind of, it's a fusion of all those kind of styles. So in modern Dragongate, you'd see stuff that won't be amiss in Lucha, like Shun Skywalker flying around the ring in his kind of younger days. You'd see that now, that last year. You'd still see like strong kicks and strikes from like Mochizuki, Kazuke Okuda, Kaito Uchida. You know, there's prolific strikers, and BB Hulk as well. Is a good striker, a lot more methodical, you know. And then there's the entertainment aspect of it. It's largely from the kind of story-driven, unitary kind of battles that they have. You know, most people are in units. That's the battleground, and that's the story, the rivalry they have. But then there's the comedy aspect, entertainment. You know, you get with Team Baku, with Ryu Saito and Bakimo and Punch.
And then there's also, from borrowing from Mexico, the
Lucha de Apuestas.
Yeah, with Yosuke Santa Maria.
Oh, that's Exoticos.
Yeah, the Exoticos.
It's a bit different in Santa Maria. It's I think in Exoticos they treat them as men dressed as women.
Right.
I think I could be wrong on that. I'm not well versed in Mexican Lucha Libre. What I know of Mexican style is from Dragongate, to be honest, and that's all. But in Dragongate lore, Santa Maria is generally treated as a legitimate female. So she's referred to as a she, and she's treated as a female.
The opposing wrestlers don't really feel that way, though.
No, they do not. This is kind of, I guess what they're kind of doing to Condotti at the moment with her is a bit of hazing. But generally, she has been referred to as a storyline she. But yeah, I to be honest, I I'm not sure, but that's what I perceived it as when
Yeah.
I kind of got to the gimmick.
There was another comedic wrestler. I haven't seen them this year or in the past year or so, but the real skinny dude in the
Stalker
unitard,
Chikawa.
yeah, with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
that dude used to
Stalker.
creep me out.
Stalker is now Konomama Ichikawa. He lost his mask to Marufuji at Final Gate in 2019. I think it was 2019, maybe. And then he got renamed by Dragon, so it must have been like 2020 after the reunion show. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, he's kind of a Tokyo Court Hall or a bigger show kind of is when he kind of gets brought out or his stick, if you will. He does show up a lot in Kobe in the battle royales, though. So, but not on
Right.
every show. He's I don't want to say he's what age he is, but I would guess he's nearing the 50s now at this stage, and I think he's been taking horrific bumps for comedy for quite a while now, where he goes off the top rope and everyone just walks away. That's gotta hurt his little knees,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still around.
So this all started whenever Ultimo Dragon left Toryumon, and he started Toryumon Japan, and later renamed it Dragongate. The first inaugural champion of Dragongate was CIMA, and CIMA played a very strong role throughout Dragongate's history, did he not?
He did, yeah. I think he holds the record still for the longest reign and the most successful defenses. I remember there's this photo of him when he's defending against Akira Tozawa, and he's got like 13 or 15 dream keys already on the plate that goes along the dream gate.
Right.
And he was a pivotal figure in Toryumon Japan, and much of Dragongate's modern history as well, up until the kind of Strongheart stuff. He would have still been active in the Twin Gate picture and the Triangle Gate picture.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit. You talked a little bit about the 13 Dream Keys. So for people that don't know, let's go into a little bit about what that means and what the Dream Gate actually is.
The Dream Gate is the primary title in Dragon Gate. It's the top championship. And the original design used to have this kind of lock that you could open and put your name into. And underneath this kind of device, it had a kind of rail. And after every defense, you add a key to it, which is commonly referred to as the Dream Key.
Yeah.
So challengers through the Dream Gate will get given a key.
Yeah.
And if they win, they can open the Dream Gate. If they lose, the winner adds it to his title, his collection, I guess.
Yeah. And when I was first getting into Dragon Gate, that was one of the things that really intrigued me. Was this whole sort of ceremonial aspect to winning a title there?
It's even kind of akin to like when you watch like an anime or like a even like those crime shows where they have a villain who has a kill count, and they like make a scar of themselves and everything.
Yeah, Zaz in DC Comics.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think that Dreamgate reign ended at about 15 successful defenses, and all the Dream Keys. It looked like trophies from victims, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
Right.
It was, like I don't think that will ever be broken. Like,
and we saw CIMA play a really big role in the beginnings of AEW as well. So let's dive a little.
Well, what happened was,
yeah,
he took over as president of Dragongate, and then like a year later, he decided to start his own promotion called OWE, and then him, T-Hawk, L. Lindemann, and another guy that I can't think of the name.
Yamamura or something like that. They left. OWE was working with Dragongate around the time Okamura was in the process of stepping down, and Kido and Yoshino and some of the other guys stayed as part of Dragongate Entertainment or something like that. So it was kind of like a secondary split in a way, even though they don't call it that. Like, those lads went to OWE, and the rest stayed in Dragongate. Like the whole reason, like, people like Taru and them came back in the kind of the Toryumon celebration of the 20th anniversary of Dragongate was because of, Okamura and CIMA not being around and politicking and all that you get in wrestling.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff we probably don't know about that OWE Dragongate split.
But what I was getting at was, for people that are still like, I don't know about this Dragongate thing, I don't know about that. But let's dive a little bit into some like notable alumni that have been there. So we've got CIMA, we've got Kenta, obviously.
No,
not Kenta. Pac. Pac. We've got Akira Tozawa. You mentioned. Ricochet. Tell you somebody who's making big waves right now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shingo Takagi.
Yeah,
was one of the big people there.
Yeah, I think he's tied. He's tied with Yamato and Yoshino as the most reigns Dreamgate have 4. So like he was the main kind of the big man, the kind of villain for quite a while.
Yeah,
he was the face as well, but he was one of the top kind of agonists in the promotion, like Berserk and Antias. I think his last reign was with Berserk when he was the Dreamgate last, and he was the guy for quite a while. For me, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy for me right now.
I mean, for sure.
And he's actually the one that got me into Dragongate. Because when I was in high school, I stopped watching wrestling, and then I got back into it after high school, and I started going online and looking up the type of wrestling that I liked, and it was Ring of Honor, and then I found Dragongate USA, and I saw Bryan Danielson against Shingo, and I lost my mind. And I saw Davey Richards against Naruki Doi, and I lost my mind again. And then I was on the WWN website doing their like 3 or 5 DVDs for this however much money. And I started seeing all these faces that I know, like John Moxley and rest in peace Brody Lee. Young Bucks, like we said, Pac, Ricochet, Sabu even showed up a little bit. But yeah, I know that Matt Sydal was also in Dragon Gate, not just Dragon Gate USA.
He was a Brave Gate champion at one point. But even if we go back to modern day in AEW with Matt and Mike Sydal, I was watching, I think it was Dark Elevation, and they were in the tag team match, and their finish is a double lightning spiral. The lightning spiral is one of Yoshino's moves.
Yeah.
But like that's Dragon Gate is a lot of those kind of indie stars from like the noughties and the tens. They would have been watching Toryumon and Dragongate, looking at the innovation of their moves and that kind of early PWG, ROH, and all, and the big American indies. A lot of them would have looked at Dragongate and Toryumon heavily. Jack Evans is another one who worked for Dragongate.
Jack Evans.
Who?
Jack Evans.
Oh, okay, yes. That makes sense.
Even his partner Angelico, his match with Phoenix on last week's Dynamite, you could see him locking and picking limbs, and that was a heavy aspect of Toryumon 2000 project, the Have style, the lock style, that those guys came back from Mexico with. So like I'd be watching something and I'm like, that's Dragongate, that's Toryumon. It's
I pick out stuff like that too, with all kinds of promotions. Like, I know what you're talking about.
Like DDT's what's his first name? Hirata. He's done so many kind of parodies of like Magnum Tokyo and other Dragon Gate guys. Milano Collection AT is kind of what he kind of looks like at the moment in a way. But he does the Magnum Tokyo dance.
Right.
You see Dragon System stuff everywhere. For me, anyway. It's probably because I watch it the most. I see it kind of everywhere.
So, like, we touched on Ricochet and Pac a little bit, but Ricochet, aside from maybe PWG, I would say Dragon Gate was really where he made a name for himself, correct?
Yeah, he's pretty much a Grand Slam champion in terms of titles. He's won the Dream Gate, the Twin Gate, the Brave Gate, the Triangle Gate, and he's won both of the DJ USA titles, I think. But he's got to open the United Gate and open the Freedom Gate as well. I could be wrong on that. I'm not as well versed as at the USA promotion as I am with the Japanese.
Right.
But he like in terms of Gaijin, it's probably Ricochet and then Pac. In terms of who's done the most as a non-native in Dragon Gate.
No, you said Triangle Gate. That's obviously a trios title. Twin Gate, that's the tag team title. Dream Gate, we spoke of, that's the main title. Open the Brave Gate. Do we view this as the secondary title? Do we view this as the strong guy title? Do we view this as the cruiserweight title? I've always kind of been confused as to what the criteria that defined the Brave Gate Championship.
The Brave Gate was initially like the lighter guys. I think it's without googling, I think it's 84 kg is the weight limit, or it was. Or it's something close to that. It's like a lighter guy
So like a
Wait.
cruiserweight title.
Yeah, and again, it kind of has an interesting makeup. It has 8 different plates that make up the central plate, and the original tournament was an 8-man tournament, and they all got one piece of the plate, and they would collect the other pieces as they won more matches and they progressed, and then that made up the title.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's still part of the design. I don't know if it's the original 8 pieces, but it's still kind of visible.
Oh yeah, see, check that out. Check that
Oh
out.
yeah,
That's really cool.
That's rad. We're looking
I
at a picture.
I
of it
just
right
brought
now.
up a picture.
But yeah, it's kind of weight limiting, but I think it has been defended against heavier wrestlers in the past.
Yeah.
And it is more known for kind of the high flying or the faster kind of stuff.
Well,
But in the last few reigns with Kaito Ishida and Kazuke Okuda, it's much more striking orientated than anything else.
yeah, I was just gonna say that amazing match we saw. I think I want to say it was Kobe World, but I'm not sure. Okuda
They had 2
and
very close
Ishida.
together.
Okuda and Ishida, man, that was some rad shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Pac started in Dragongate, and then he made his way to the States in PWG and places like that. And then after his WWE release, he waited out the time, and instead of signing right to another big U.S. promotion, his heart was with Dragongate, because Dragongate put him on the map. What transpired when he came back? What was going on, and what did he set forth?
Really, what was going on in that time was it was more or less just after OWE split. So talent left, like stars that were being pushed, etc. All that left. Evil, and Yoshino became champion after winning King of Day, I believe, and then beating Mochizuki a few days later. So Yoshino kind of held the reins for a while, kept the ship steady in a way, and then Shingo Takagi was on the way out.
And he was leading.
He gave Antias, and he gave Eita the reins to do whatever he wanted with Antias, basically, and that became R.E.D on the 24th of September, 2018, I'm gonna say. And it was the surprise appearance there was Kazuma Sakamoto, but then the Cork and Hall preceding that big Danger Skate show, or I think it was Danger Skate, was Eita and X versus Shingo Takagi and BB Hulk, and X was Pop, and they attacked Shingo Takagi on his farewell, kind of working, and he came back and he was like, "I am not the Pac you remembered. I am, full on bastard Pac, and I'm not the same
Right.
guy Yoshino's boy. Like I'm coming
I
for you."
actually remember that promo.
Yeah,
Because
it was a kind of
it was the
a
first
goosebump
time-
moment.
It was like one of the first times that we got that version of Pac where he starts what he says, which is "aye aye aye," and he'll just point at somebody and just verbally eviscerate them. It's the best.
Yeah. He done it barely say any Japanese, but he got what he wanted to say across. I don't even think he said Japanese in that promo. But you knew what he meant. He was coming for Yoshino in the Dream Gate. I think Yoshino got in another few defenses. And then there was Pac at the first Korakuen Hall of December that year. And then Pac took the title. And that kind of it elevated Dragongate internationally again in a way of recognition. Like Dragongate just got the network that April, and then Pac becoming the champion helped attract more Western eyes again to the product. So Yoshino did his job of steadying the ship, and then Pac kind of put it out there again. And now we're kind of
so Pac came back, held the title for a year, and then he departed.
It wasn't even a year. It was Kobe World the next July where he lost it. He wasn't even a year with Dragongate after his turn.
Oh,
sadly. I think his reign was only 5-6 months, if even. It was December to July. And what happened was we start seeing Dragongate put the faith in the younger guys. Red had betrayed or ousted, I guess it was a betrayal, Benkei.
Yeah.
And then at Dead or Alive, I think, was it? It was 2019, yeah. And then he went through King of Gay undefeated, won the tournament. Then he went on to Kobe World to face Pac and beat Pac. That was the last we saw of Pac in Dragongate. For now, I hope.
Yeah. There's a lot of things happening in the world of pro wrestling outside of the WWE bubble that would make me think that anything is possible right now. So you saying for now for
we're
Pac,
seeing seeing forbidden doors, as it were, getting kicked down and unlocked.
Andrade just got his release today.
Yes, very.
So
very
you never know where.
Hoping for New Japan or CMLL for him.
I don't care. I hope he goes. Like a lot of people are saying, ROH
somewhere that makes you happy
to join the Ingobernables, but he can go anywhere and do great and show up in other places.
Exactly.
But I need at some point all of the Ingobernables to be in one place. And that's probably whenever they're able to do another War of the Worlds for ROH. Speaking of ROH played a big hand in Dragongate's Western exposure as well, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, the first Dragongate match I saw was it wasn't on a Dragongate show, but it was Do Fixer versus Blood Generation from Supercard of Honor 2006. That was my first exposure of Dragongate.
And that's one of the only Western 5-star matches that Meltzer has rated.
Yeah.
Not that that matters. I mean, if it matters to you,
it
matters.
Yeah. To be honest, I think Ring of Honor have a lot of 5-star matches in their history. So it's all personal opinion. Like, reviewing and stuff like that, that's cool. I do it because I'm passionate about what I do, but
same.
It's all about getting people to look at something and make up their own minds about it.
Right.
If he could rate something 5-star matches, I'm like, not for me. I mean,
if he rates something 5 stars, then I'll probably check it out. But I'm not going to go into it thinking, okay, this is already great. I'm gonna go into it thinking for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it as an indicator. That's how I found a lot of Dragon Gate stuff in my early, or just Japanese pro wrestling stuff in my early kind of fandom. Was looking at ratings and all that and seeing what's good, and then I formed my own kind of opinions after watching it and what I liked. It's a good indication, but like you always go in with your own kind of go in with a clean slate, if you will.
Yeah.
Make your own mind.
Right. So, we talked about Yoshino. Yoshino is coming up on retirement, correct?
Yeah. I'm not ready.
Neither am I, because
I'm not ready.
when I started paying attention to Dragon Gate, I would say the guys that were like the main event scene were Doi. Shingo was kind of flirting with it at the time. Yoshino, Yamato, like those four guys, I'd say, you could say CIMA as much as you want to, but like those four guys to me were kind of like maybe not the foundation for Dragon Gate, but they were like the second layer.
To borrow a term from all Japan, they were kind of like the four pillars of Dragon Gate in this kind of early era,
Right.
if you will.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's the foundation upon which modern Dragon Gate was built on.
And Yoshino has been called like the fastest wrestler alive, or something like that.
In his early years, just watching him go off the ropes, it's it's in his team song "Lightning" in the jungle. Like he's just so quick, It's so effortless. Like go watch Toryumon 2000 Japan on Dragon Gate Network and see baby Yoshino move. It's joy, like. And it's so technically gifted as well.
So, before we get into current day stuff, let's talk about some notable feuds and like recommended matches or we'll save recommended matches for the end. What are some notable feuds that really Dragon Gate is known for? In my mind, from the little I know of the history, Mochizuki and Shingo, correct?
Yeah, Dave has a bit of a rivalry. For me, it was again. I'm going back to Toryumon because everything goes back to Toryumon for me. But Darkness Dragon and Dragon Kid. They had a mask v mask match at Toryumon Japan, Toryumon 2000 Project show, and that's probably one of my favorite matches in Dragon System history. It's on the network. It's if you it was a brutal match for them at the time, and with mask versus mask is just adds another layer of drama to a match.
Right.
Because in Dragon Gate, like masks are kind of they're sacred.
Yeah, it's another borrowed aspect from
Lucha.
Yeah.
I don't want to kind of shit on New Japan, but Desperado kind of just takes off his mask when and if he wants, To me, that doesn't.
Desperado did it in that match against Hiromu because there was a long story that had been drawn out between the two. And Hiromu had spoken whenever he came back to New Japan after excursion, saying, "I know who you are." And Desperado would look at Hiromu as kind of an admiration of where he had gotten, and also in anger because of where Desperado had not gotten. And the whole unmasking and realizing that these guys had a big bond before in the dojo days, in their dojo days, was a big deal. But the fact that he put the mask back on after that match was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Once you unmask, you unmask. You know, once you've lost your mask, you've lost your mask.
But the other idea here is he's part of Suzuki.
Oh, I love his mask.
He's
it's
part
cool,
of Suzuki
you know.
Gun. And Suzuki Gun members do whatever the hell they want. They don't care about tradition or this or that. They'll do whatever they please.
Yeah, but think about it from my Dragongate fan perspective.
Right.
Where, you know, the mask is, you know, holy in a way. Even, you know, heels kind of protect their masks in Dragongate, you know.
Well, across the world.
Yeah. But yeah, that Dragon Kid versus Darkness Dragon, I think it was 2002, something like that. It was a dual show between Toryumon Japan and Toryumon 2000 project. I'll give you guys a list of stuff for the post, whatever, with the correct dates and stuff. There, as well on Toryumon Japan, you saw the kind of the 4-way 6-man battles. A lot of them are, you know, quality, you know, the early kind of foundation of the unitary system kind of warfare that's used in Dragon Gate comes from that. In a way, the kind of style and the intensity of those matches, you know, Crazy Max, M2K, Italian Connection, Do Fixer. When they kind of clashed in 3-man groups in a 4-way, it was kind of magic. BB Hulk and Shingo Takagi, you know, they've had, you know, a relationship that mirrors Yoshino and Doi in a way, you know, betrayal, friendship. Now, if we go to, you know, fast forward now, BLANKEY and Sean Skywalker, that's, you know, that was based on Sean Skywalker being unhappy with where he was after BLANKEY got his success. He went to Mexico and he came back, you know, new with a kind of a very submission kind of methodical offense, and he came back. He won the Dream Gate, and then he defeated his old friend Ben at Final Gate, and you know that's you know, that story can be built on in the future.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of going away from that right now, and Masquerade and Red is like the major thing there. And when Skywalker came back, he dethroned Eita, right?
Yeah, he dethroned Eita at Kobe World, and I was about to say Chennai because that's when it usually is, but I think it was the end of November or something, or early November. Well, yeah, he came back. He won the Dream Gate in his first match back. He didn't fly around as much. He kind of was locking up Ika in these weird kind of maneuvers. He was methodical. He was really kind of made new from his excursion. And And then a few weeks later, he recruited Minoura, Jason Lee, Dragon Daya, and then they formed Masquerade with La Estrella on the 18th of December. And, no, strength really.
And
Masquerade.
Jason Lee, if you watch the Cruiserweight Classic in WWE, he was a very, very young boy. And if you look at him from then till now, it's a complete transformation.
I actually saw him in 01 for the Cruiserweight Classic, and he's not the guy I see now. He's
an incredible seller.
Yeah, he is like, unfortunately, he makes him kind of the fall guy a lot in Masquerade. You know, he eats a lot of the pins they take. I guess they really want to push La Estrella.
Yeah, he's still undefeated.
Yeah,
I think they're looking at Estrella as the heir to Dragon Kid.
Well, the heir to Dragon Kid is Dragon Daya.
Yeah, but I mean, like, similar in size and movesets and such.
Yeah. La Estrella reminds me more of Sugi. I don't know if you've seen him. He wrestles in 01.
No, I'm not too familiar with 01. I want to be, but there's so much wrestling.
I think he was trained as part of the Toryumon X class. Sugi was, so he's kind of part of the Dragon system in a way, and he's like a freelancing junior heavyweight high flyer kind of guy. He has wrestled in Dragongate as El Blazer, but the way he can walk along the ropes and stuff, the way he moves his body in the air, it's what we see now with La Estrella. I think La Estrella is a bit faster in his execution, but yeah, he looks like the second coming of Sugi to me. I'll try find some Sugi videos and you can see for yourself.
Man, send them over. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Dragon Kid trained Dragon Daya, I believe. So that's kind of why in my mindset he's the heir to Dragon Kid. Like, Dragon Kid is the heir to Ultimo. Ultimo, Dragon Kid his name, and Dragon Kid trained Dragon Daya.
Well, you know like more than me, man. That's why you're here. So, like, speaking of, like, Yamato, like, what are some of his notable feuds? Like, his big feud?
Oh, well, he's in a big feud right now with Kai. If you've watched last year, there was a generational war with Toryumon Generation, Dragongate Generation, and
which was basically kicked off with Ultimo Dragon coming back, right?
What happened was, Dragon was back. They were doing like Toryumon specials, getting guys back that haven't been seen in years or whatever. And at the end, last Korakuen Hall show of that year, BB Hulk had turned on Yamato and betrayed Vanguard, and either prior to that or during that show, but Yamato had a promo where he said, nostalgia is nice and all, but this is Dragongate, not Toryumon. And that basically kicked off the generation war. So, like, guys that were trained in Dragongate formed Dragongate Generation, and guys that were trained in Toryumon by Ultimo became Toryumon Generation. And then R.E.D were, the antagonists of that whole kind of thing.
So who was Team Toryumon and who was Team Dragongate?
Team Toryumon was basically everyone active with the company at the time that was trained by Ultimate Dragon. So Dragon was active, Naruki Doi, Masato Yoshino, Saito, Genki Horiguchi, Susumu Yokosuka, Super Shiza, Brother Yashi, Yasushi Kanda, Kenichiro Arai, Stalker was even there, Sachiyoko, I can't say his name, Yoko boy, he was in and out. He came back as Sachiyoko machine. Shuji Kondo came back. Everyone that was basically trained by Ultimate Dragon and Toryumon system was Team Toryumon. And then after 2004, Dragongate had their own dojo, and the guys that were trained there sided with Dragongate generation. So YAMATO, KZ, Benkei, Gotem Nora, Jason Lee, even though he felt he owed Dragongate something. Yosuke Santa Maria, Punch Kamanega, Mondairu. I'm drawing blanks.
Yeah, it's all right.
But and Kai and Keisuke Okuda, even though they were freelancers and trained elsewhere, they joined Dragongate Generation, and the feud between the three factions went on. Start of 2020, and then we missed Dead or Alive because of the pandemic, and which is the usual cage match. And then that cage match happened at Dangerous Gate in September, and Kai turned on YAMATO and Dragongate Generation and joined R.E.D, and then he began feuding with YAMATO since then. And they're now meeting in Dead or Alive, in the cage match. They're actually teaming together.
What is this cage match?
Okay. The Dead or Alive cage match is a wager kind of match where it's usually like hair versus mask, but other kind of wagers have been used. For example, you can use to kick somebody out of your unit. You can choose to leave your unit. One did that at the previous one. Last year's one, they had loads of specific ramifications.
Wasn't there like 4 or 5 specifications in that?
They all had individual ones. I don't recall them all off the top of my head, but Big Arshimazu had the worst kind of luck. He had to, if he lost, he had to leave R.E.D, go back to his old gimmick, Ryu Tsushimazu, as the kind of police warden kind of guy, and shave his head.
Yeah, and
those are his, and then he lost, so he was kicked out. R.E.D shaved him, and
And for those who don't know who Big R Shizumu is, he was in R.E.D. He was with Benkei as Big Ben, and they were a very formidable tag team in the tag team division. Dragongate saw more in Benkei, and right now Shizumu is under the mask and is Bokumoto Dragon.
Bokumoto Dragon.
Yeah. So like the cage match has all these different ramifications, right? and a lot of the landscape could be changed in this match.
Yeah. The first cage match happened in Toryumon. I have the dates written because I knew this was important. The 30th of September 2001, and it was a five-way hair versus mask match with CIMA, Darkness Dragon, Dragon Kids, Mochizuki, and Magnum Tokyo. Those were kind of the five guys in Toryumon. And it was, CIMA's hair, Darkness Dragon's mask, Kid's mask, Mochizuki's hair, and Tokyo's, I presume hair, because his mask isn't really that effective, maybe not. Yeah. So that's the origins of the cage match. Then it didn't kind of appear again until 2008 at Dead or Alive, and then it disappeared again for a while. And it came back in 2014. And then it's been consistent since then. But Lucha de Pustas has been a constant kind of thing in Dragon Gate history. I remember one of the first Toryumon matches I saw was Ryu Saito and Dan Fuji's bicycle versus bicycle match. Where Dan Fuji stole Saito's bicycle and Saito onto the back. That was one of the first Toryumon matches I saw.
That's some DDT stuff right there.
Oh yeah. But right now there's like 2 Luchas matches on the cards. One at Dead or Alive, one at Gate of Passion, Corrigan Hall. Diamante from R.E.D. is challenging Bach Team with Dragon in a mask match. I expect Bach Team to lose and become another parody because, he's not, a masked luchador or anything. He doesn't have a legacy to protect, and it's a way of on his character.
Right.
But yeah, that's happening at the next Corrigan Hall.
The another interesting thing that they do is called Doi darts, and I do not understand what this is.
Doi darts started when Naruki Doi was, I think he was leading Blood Warriors, a heel unit, and himself, Naoki Tanizaki, and KZ had a dartboard, and they would choose tag team partners or stipulations from throwing darts at the dartboard. In around 2012, it became an annual kind of tradition at the first Corrigan Hall in December, where they'd get kids up after the final match, and they would throw darts at a wheel of names, and it will make a 10-man tag team match.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
You could have, but the darts would select the teams, and that would be the main event of the final Corrigan of the year, which is usually like a fortnight after Doi Darts takes place.
That's really cool.
So it's a two. Yeah, it can really elevate somebody because it can take somebody who's not in the main event picture, put them in the main event, and it's a way of the guys in charge of seeing what you can do on that kind of level.
Yeah, but even outside of that, it's getting the crowd involved. It's getting children involved. That's a good idea,
Yeah. Over generation used to do the Gong Kids. It's where they'd ask them to put up their hands and they talk to them. Ryu Saito did it for a while as well. Before the pandemic, I think Toryumon kept it on for a while, and then the generation, not the promotion, and then they'd ring the first bell of the show. And it was just a good way of, making kids permanent fans, I guess.
Right.
So they're always been kind of interactive with the audience in a way, from my perspective.
So, Japan is known for being very tournament based. From my knowledge, there's only one tournament that has been continued throughout Dragon Gate's existence, and that's the King of Gate tournament. And that's similar to like a round robin, correct?
Well, it used to be single elimination until like 2015, 2016, and then it became block.
Right, and the winner receives what?
A shot at Dream Gate.
At Kobe World?
It used to be preceding the final, but now it's Kobe World. Eita's was at Memorial Gate, I think, because of COVID. But generally since like 2015, 2016, I think it's been Kobe. It could be earlier. But yeah, it used to be, it changes. It can change. Yoshino's, no. Yeah, it's really kind of, it can change. It's not, set in stone, in my opinion. But traditionally, the last few years, it has been Kobe World. Like, I don't think that made sense.
Well, it made sense, but Dragon Gate didn't make it make sense. Right. That's what it sounded like.
What happened last year was the pandemic. So
Yeah,
that
and
made it harder.
and
That's kind of thrown my mind off a little.
Yeah, so speaking of the pandemic, we've been living in that forever now, it feels like.
Yeah.
And but last February 1st, 2020 actually, Dragon Gate announced that they wanted to, and they had confirmed a working relationship with American or Western promotion, Major League Wrestling.
Yeah.
With like talent exchanges and all that. But then the whole world shut down and we haven't really seen anything from that yet.
Yeah.
What? So like what do you think? When do you think and who do you think we could see traded between the two?
To be honest, I don't watch a lot of MLW, so I can't say for sure. But the people I would like to see come over would be Hammerstone.
Absolutely.
Hammerstone rules, man.
Like the only problem with Hammerstone is who would he work the most with, because a lot of the Dragon Gate guys will be a lot smaller than him.
Yeah.
So
I find that a lot of good matches for big guys are with smaller guys.
Yeah.
His match against one of the Strong Hearts was pretty damn good, and his match against Go Shiozaki was pretty damn good.
Is who it is.
But if you're talking about size matchups, I think
Benkei would probably be the best. Though.
Yeah. Benkei would probably be the guy.
Yeah. I think he could have a great match with Susumu Yokosuka as well. He's deceptively big. No, but he's still got.
Leo Rush is the middleweight champion and the AAA cruiserweight champion. So,
I want Leo Rush versus everybody available.
I remember Leo Rush from CZW, but I've not seen anything of him since he left.
Tell you what, man, let's get some faction warfare going with Contra Unit and R.E.D. That'd be crazy.
Absolutely. Although I'm not so sure how much Jacob Fatu wants to travel to Japan
or anywhere really.
Yeah, he's not too much of a traveler.
Is he? Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, me too.
One of the problems the last few years of the Dragongate and some Japanese companies is they can be quite isolationist, and it's good to see them be open to working with foreign promotions again.
Yeah,
I agree because we set out to do Armbar Audio. Our main goal was to shine lights on not so much mainstream wrestling. We cover mainstream wrestling too, but I wanted to present other options for people, So, if you get Japanese and Mexican and UK talent and promotions working together with American promotions, that only makes me happy because it's doing the same thing that I am personally trying to do.
Yeah, as you said earlier, the problem is, either some people aren't willing to travel, like in the case of Fatu, or it's the cost aspect of flying talent back and forth. I believe that was one of the kind of issues with Dragongate USA is the inability to get talent from Dragongate in Japan over to the US. If you look at some of the later kind of Dragongate USA cards, it's pretty heavy on the American indie kind of side, and not so much the Japanese Dragongate.
Yeah, there was Dragongate UK too, but I don't know too much about it, and
it started with the same kind of reasoning as Dragongate USA is expanding the promotions network internationally. But again, it's the same problem of getting Dragongate stars to these locations outside of Japan. That's an issue. Hopefully in the future we can see the MLW partnership come to fruition, because pretty much as soon as they announced it, the world shut down. I think it was the 1st of February. A month later, Ireland was closed, on the 7th of March.
Yep. Same.
I think Eita and Big Arshimazu were booked for MLW actually, or someone from R.E.D. was booked for MLW for April or May, and so they did have a desire to send talent over. Just
so
they're not.
Winding down, who would you say, for listeners and viewers of this show, to keep your eye on? What upcoming shows they should check out? And what's your personal favorite Dragongate match?
Oh.
But go
start with
that order, yeah.
What was the first one?
Who's some Dragongate talent that people should keep a close eye on?
Well, I'm gonna go with my boy Eita. last year's King of Gates. I love Shin Skywalker.
I was just gonna say.
In fact, I love more or less all of R.E.D. right now. I think
R.E.D. and Masquerade, like, I need their t-shirts, but you can only get them from Dragongate's website, and they don't have my size, and I'm so upset.
well, hopefully they start, taking notice and get a Western. They used to have Western delivery options.
Yeah.
They used to have a PWT, Pro Wrestling Tees. I looked into
I think
it.
the problem with that is somebody involved with either the USA or the UK branch own that, and they can't update it because they don't have the rights anymore.
Right.
Or something like that. That's what I understood when I last inquired, is that it's not owned by Dragon, it's operated by somebody else that was involved with USA or UK. So that's why the Jimmyz and the Millennials brands are still out there. It's because it can't be updated. I think you can still buy Millennial stuff, Jimmy stuff if you want.
Right.
No, you won't get Masquerade or R.E.D. up in there right now. But yeah, R.E.D. and Masquerade, that's the money for me right now. That's the feud they should build on.
I'm also, I would also say, High End just started, and I think that's going to be something to watch too.
The thing with High End is, who's going to be the guy to take the pin right now? Who's going to, they're the type of faction that should be pushed. But, like, they have something good going, so, like, I'm kind of curious as to where they get put after the feud they have with R.E.D. at the moment. Two of them are feuding with two members of R.E.D. The rest of R.E.D. are kind of feuding with Masquerade and, everybody else in a way.
Right.
I'm curious to see what happens to High End after Dead or Alive. Because that's when they should start chasing titles and stuff. And, you'll get a kind of perspective of where they're kind of positioned going forward,
Before we get into the next question, I forgot to do this. The current factions are R.E.D., which is basically the heel faction, but they also have the coolness factor. They're kind of like a mixture of Bullet Club and L.I.J., in my opinion, if you're most familiar with New Japan. That's comprised of Eita, Kaito Ishida, SB Kento, Hip Hop Kakuta, Diamante, who else?
Sakamoto, Kazuma Sakamoto, BB Hulk, Diamante, Kyo, Dia Inferno.
Dia Inferno, that's the one I was looking for.
Did you say Kaito Ishida?
Yeah, but I didn't say Kai. But yeah, those are the guys in
Kai,
there.
yeah.
We got Masquerade, which is Shun Skywalker, Lee Estrella, Dragon Dia, who's out with an injury.
Shoulder, I believe.
Minoru, and
Dakota Minoru and
Jason Lee. We have the Triangle Gate champions, who are Natural Vibes, leader KZ,
Genki Horiguchi, Susumu Yokosuka, UT, and Taketo Kamui.
Right.
Kamui has actually just announced his comeback for the 22nd of April. And he's apparently going to change his ring name and have his kind of Natural Vibes ring gear revealed in Kobe. I think he has a shoulder problem as well, or an elbow problem. But not as severe as I can tell you, but yeah.
And then the new faction, High End, which is Yamato, Dragon Kid, Kyosuke Akuda, and Benkei. And those are the factions right now, correct?
We have Team Baku as well.
Yeah.
Akira Dragon, Ryo Saito, and Punch Tamanega. Naruki Doi left them via Twitter. He basically did the breaking up with your partner via text message thing on them.
What a prick.
It was cold. I suspect he'll join high end.
I don't know.
But,
I would like if when Naruki Doi comes back, he starts a heel stable, because it seems like Red is the only heel faction there. That's why they're so spread out, fighting high end and Masquerade. I mean, I don't know the history of Dragongate factions. Is there only one heel stable at a time?
There's generally only one heel stable. There was 2 in Toryumon. Well, it's normally 1, and the rest are faces. And the unit system allows their faces to have rivalries based on belonging to different units. So it just adds a different dynamic to those kind of face versus face matches. Yeah, you're fighting for your unit, whereas R.E.D are just, kind of selfishly fighting for R.E.D, but they'll do it by any means.
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I mean? A face versus face will be a bit more friendly, but they're still fighting for their unit.
Right. Okay, so then the next question was, what are some upcoming shows in 2021 that people should watch out for?
When is this planning to go out?
This will be uploaded Saturday.
What's Saturday? I'll check because there is a big event this weekend.
Saturday is the 27th.
It's either 27th or 28th. Let me double check. But this weekend is Memorial Gate, and it's main evented by Shun Skywalker challenging, Kazuma Sakamoto challenging Shun Skywalker for the Dreamgate.
Nice.
And after that, we go to Korakuen Hall on the 9th of April. And at that, we'll have Aqua Team with Dragon versus Diamante in a mask versus mask match. Following that, we have Dead or Alive, the big cage. I just checked the date. Memorial Gate is the 27th this weekend. On Saturday. So that will be on the network. That will be available for a week after, I believe. So, check that out when you listen to this. After Korakuen Hall, we have Dead or Alive on the 5th of May. And this is the kind of annual cage match. And this year, it's a tag team match. It goes back to Lucha, incredible pairings, where enemies get paired together, and they have to work together to escape the cage, to escape to not suffer the stipulation.
Oh wow!
So Yamato has been feuding with Kai ever since Kai turned his back on Dragongate Generation, and they're one side, and SP Kento has been a Torn and Dragon Kid side since Final Gate 2020, where
they literally killed him. They almost killed him.
Well, I think Dragon Kid is more concerned about the fact that SBK has been going after his mask since then. Again, going back to the sacred thing, it's, don't attack the mask. But SBK and Dragon Kid versus Yamato and Kai. So you have two enemies trying to work together to avoid suffering the mask versus hair. The losers will have to meet straight afterwards in a singles match, and the loser of that singles match would either lose their hair or their mask.
So Yamato and Kai are probably gonna win.
I wouldn't say so. I think Yamato is losing his hair, or Kai is losing their hair. But they have proven me wrong before. But their hair has been miraculously growing since September. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because they have to work together, and I just feel like SPK and Dragongate have, even though it's only since December, their rivalry is not as built up as Yamato and Kai. Kai and Yamato go back since pretty much since Kai joined Dragongate.
Right.
So their history is longer, so I think it's them going to the end.
And the last thing we'll end on here. What is your favorite Dragongate match?
I can give you a few favorite recent ones. I can give you a favorite show actually. One of the Kobe Worlds. I think it was 2010, 2011. It was pretty much Blood Warriors, massive heel unit versus Junkie Tree, who are kind of like a unit based up, combined with 3 of the face units, and that was the whole rivalry, just Blood Warriors versus Junction Tree. I think that Kobe World is one of the best ones. The R.E.D. versus Toryumon from last year's Final Gate. That was if you're watching recent Dragon Gate, that is probably the match you should start with for me. As the drama and the story of the unitary battles, and the cost of losing a Unit Dissolution Match in Dragon Gate. And going back, Darkness Dragon versus Dragon Kid, that's my all-time Dragon System match.
Nice.
It's the pinnacle for me.
Very cool.
The 5-way cage match I mentioned earlier, that's another great one from that era. Again, I'll give you that list.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description of the video.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull stuff out of my head.
That's especially for me, like, when I start watching a new promotion, I don't really remember matches as much as I remember specific people. Like, I can give you people to watch, but, like, matches to watch, I'd be like, just look up a list of Son Skywalker matches. Watch those. Like, that's what I would say.
The thing for me is, I like, there's stuff that was that, like, Cork and Halls that are probably no longer on the network. So it's hard to say what is there, but if you look for Unit Dissolution matches, they're another kind of big match type for me in Dragon Gate. If you look for those kind of matches, those are the bomb. They are some of the best matches you'll ever see, I think. It's Jimmyz versus BLANKEY, the cracking Unit Dissolution match. That after R.E.D versus Toryumon from last year, that's probably my favorite Unit Dissolution match. Jimmyz versus BLANKEY. Jimmyz versus Berserk as well. Another cracking one. That will make a lot of people sad because Jimmyz lost that one. Well, for me, the Unit Dissolution match comes first, and then it's like the wagers. You know, and I know we could do like a whole series based off Unit history and Dragongate and the importance of Unit.
Yeah,
But that's why
it changes
I'm
all
saying,
the time, and like I've followed Shingo a lot. He's been in and leader of many. So yeah, Luke, it was
actually,
great.
Masaaki Yoshino versus Naruki Doi rivalry. Watch anything you can see from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, with that, Luke, if there's anything you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Check out at Open the Fan Gate on Twitter. That's where I post everything about the Dragon system. I only started the website a while ago. I've been running the Twitter for a while. I post upcoming events, match cards, the bits of information, storylines. I post all on there, and it goes on the website as well now. I post other bits of information from the Dragon system, from Eldorado, Dragon Door, Secret Space, Toryumon. I cover all really on that kind of Twitter. Like what we did today, it's only a section of what is great about Dragongate. There's so much more to learn,
Right.
but we will leave that for another day.
You also have something else, right?
I also, I guess, call it the editor of Purogate. 72, I think, is the app. I'll double check that there. Yeah, it's not Purogate. I'll, give that details to you as well. Pretty much. At me if you want anything Dragongate, at me on the Sandgate. If you want anything other else in Japanese pro-wrestling, at me at other. I watch a lot of it.
Well,
01 freedoms. No, just at me. I'll do my best.
thank you so much, Luke, for making time out of your day to join us to talk about the great promotion that is Dragongate. Next week, we are coming at you with the best of March,
Yep.
the top 10, and you're not going to want to miss it because it's one number 1 match and 9 number 2 matches. And with that, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and peace and love to all of you. Bang!
Bang.